So this is my code for my OCR coding challenge game of chance. We start off with the enter button. So first we're doing some variables. We're declaring some variables: num, money, balance, random, and prime number. And then we're going to check if the user's inputted the number. If they have, then we're going to pass that into num using int or pass. And then we're going to check the radio buttons if they're checked, and we're going to see if the user is using their balance or if they're using money. So the difference between this is balance is what the user has already earned, and so that will be stored separately, and then money is what the user can add. So next we're going to check if that the number inputted is between 0 and 30 and money is not equal to. So if money is not equal to 0, then there's no betting going on. So we're going to generate a random number between 0 and 30, and if the number equals a random number, we're going to follow a list of other if statements to see how much the user has earned. So if the number is even, we will multiply the money by 2, and how we do this is we divide the number by 2, and if the remainder is 0, then that means the number is even. If it's a multiple of 10, then we times the money by 3, and again we do this, finding out the remainder of the number divided by 10, and if it's equal to 0, then it's a multiple of 10. Then we have a for loop, and this will check if the number is prime or not. So it will cycle through the number until x reaches a number. So if x is not 1 and it's not 0, it's gonna do number divided by x, and if the remainder is 0, then that means it's not a prime number. So we're gonna break the for loop. We're gonna change prime number. Otherwise, prime number will remain true. And now if prime number is true, we're going to multiply our money by 5. However, and if the number is below 5, we can multiply the money by 2. And then we're going to show a message box showing how much the user has earned. And we're also going to show what the winning number was. Okay, and then we have an else statement, which will, if the number is not between 0 and 30, and if the money is 0, then we're going to show that we have an invalid number. Please place a number in between 0 and 30, or we have not entered the money amount. And then we're going to empty the text box. Okay, now if the user has checked the balance radio button, what we're going to do is we're going to reset the labels essentially. So if the money minus the balance is equal to 0, this is now 0. However, if it's not, then we can say that the balance is equal to whatever the user has earned. Now, if the user hasn't pressed the radio button, then what it's going to do is, if the user has used money instead of balance, it's going to use the money label instead to display whatever the user has earned. And then over here, we just have a plus button. This relates to the money label. And so every time the user presses it, £5 or 5 whatever currency will be added to the label. And we will see this when we experiment with the UI. Okay, and then we do the same for the minus button. And it will just check if the money is not equal to 0 because we can't have minus money. And then here we have another button. So just to add money to their balance, we have a separate button for that. So when pressed, it will add whatever money the user has inputted to the balance. And it will also empty the label for money. Okay, now here's our game. So here we see enter a number between 0 and 30. We have to place a bet. So here we're going to add £10 to our balance. We're going to place in our number. Well, first we need to check if we're using balance or money, and so we put a 3 in. So look, we didn't get the answer right, so we lost all our money. And oh look, number was correct, so we ended up earning £90, and now our balance is at 100. Now here we're just going to show that we can use it using the money. So once we lose, the money will go to 0. And here, if the money is 0 and we've checked using money, then it will not let us play the game. Okay, here we're just going to keep going until we actually win the game. Obviously, it's a game of chance, so Eliza might take a while. Okay, we finally won. So that's a £45 added. And we can add that to our balance.